Hi all, morning. So guys, before we start, right? So I just wanna check with you guys, like if you have any queries till last session. Okay, Akash responded. So the most important thing which I think I missed out to cover in between is the file and folder operations. The file and folder operations. Um, Generally, like when in the automation, right, all the time we will come across like dealing with the files and folders in almost all the cases. So first let us discuss the scenarios which we may encounter during our automation. So if anyone can like give some the operations which you can expect for files and folders, if someone can like give you a thought process. Read write operation, processing all the files in a particular folder. Okay, perfect. So let us take this move file from one folder to the other. Yes. So read and write the data to a file, processing all the files in a folder, one after the other, moving one file, moving file from one location to other. So do we have anything? Okay. Copy the file, delete the file, move folder, rename file. Okay, let us keep specific to this. And reading and writing of the data to the files, like based on files, we have separate activities in UiPath. For Excel and for Word and all these things like CSV, we have separate activities, even for the text file. processing of the files inside of our folder one after the other, right? So for this, we need to get all the files from folders, subfolders. So we have to not only from the folders, we need to get it from the subfolders as well. Okay. So here, let me cut this out because the moving and renaming are not different. As per the programming is concerned, when we are moving the file, we can rename it. And for renaming and moving, for both, we will be doing the same program. There is no difference. Renaming of the file can be done while moving the file. Okay.
And I think we can add
And
the
copying the
timestamp as
file,
well.
even here also we can do the rename. Akash, you are saying something?
Yeah, I think we can add the timestamp as well along with the date and with date basically in the folders itself, right, or the file itself, right?
Yeah, we can do that. See, that is like it will come under your renaming, right? End of the story.
Okay.
Copy the file, and here also we can do the rename. But your folder file will remain same, and we can delete the file and we can move the folders. So all these actions we can perform. So let us go on after that. See here, processing of all the files. Want to process only specific file types. Okay. Want to process latest file in the folder. So this question will be asked in interviews. These two are the questions which can be asked in majority of the times. Okay. And what are the other operations which are important to us as per the programming is concerned? Get file format or extension, get file folder path, get file name with and without extensions, joining the file or folder paths. So these are generally we will do more when we are dealing with our automation as per our requirements. So we will get to know in which scenarios we will do the things. Okay. So Kash, you're asking something?
Yeah, so basically how we can frame the interview with basic question from point B and C, because you mentioned just basically
You're right.
yeah, B and C, yeah.
Yeah. So the question will be on this B. So I have a folder and I have document files, like Word files, PDF files, text files, Excel files, but I want to read only the PDF files because my
Okay.
read PDF activity will not support your Excel,
Hmm.
right? So the question will be in that way only. It is a straightforward question.
Okay.
And in this, I have a couple of files in my folder and I want to see get only the last modified file or last created file. Okay.
Okay, Path. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the different methods we should know. So these are like simply we can say these are the methods. And let us go do one thing. Let me go to the downloads. So here I have almost different file folders and all. So let us start doing it. And also let us do one thing. Forming system folders dynamically. I'll tell you what actually this means. See, let us go to the downloads. Downloads, I can go to here, user profiles, admin, downloads. So this is my download folder, right? So let me bring up an assign activity here and download folder. So I'm using this as my downloads folder. Okay. But if you see, right, users admin. In case if I change the profile on the same machine, the username will change. And let us suppose I deployed this process on a different machine, the username will change, right? So we cannot rely on this admin, which is our username. If you see your system, whatever the login name you have, that you will be having. So how we can make it generalized, right? So let me write a log message here, download folder. So if you see, right, the downloads is common and whatever we have before that, that is changing. So for that, what we have in UiPath is environment. See, we have environment folder, environment variables, and let us come here and let us bring this to. See, this environmental variables is something that like um what we say fixed for this system, any system. Okay. And these are the folder paths. And these are like we'll get the values. Like in case if I select, of course, the current directory, it is easy to get in a different way also. We'll see that as well. Um, so what is this process and all this we will be getting. And I never used it. And we can get the user domain and all. I never used it. Okay. But here we can get the environment folder, which means see you can get the desktop folder, you can get programs, my documents and everything. Okay. But unfortunately, we don't have the downloads option here to select. But we have a lot of things which will help us. Okay. Like program files, we have all this. And if you see here, till the username, the things are changing, right? So we'll go to the username. We'll select the user profile. So user profile folder. And the output of this we consider to the user profile folder. So let me write a log message here. User profile folder.
So, Path, basically, what we are trying to achieve through the get environment folder, that
See
activity.
here, I got the admin, right? And the downloads. So what I can do is instead of having this admin, right, I can remove it. And here I can concatenate, like add the user profile plus downloads. So I can combine these two strings. So whatever we got here, admin and then slash downloads, we are combining. Okay. So now let me remove this. Now we should get the exact folder, whatever we are looking at. So this is my downloads folder. Let us suppose I'm taking this user profile folder from a variable and So I'm taking it from a different place, okay? Here. And this slash, whatever I have, I'm not pretty sure whether I'll get that slash or not. And in case if I miss out to provide the slash along with this text, then it is referring me to a wrong folder. So I need to have under the users, I need to have admin downloads a separate user. So which means like it is misleading my folder path in case whatever the variables I am using to build my folder path, and if it is not having the slash, it is targeting to a wrong directory. So let us go here. So for that, what we can do? So I don't want to add any slashes. So we have a method path dot combine, and we'll put all this with the comma separated values. Okay. Now I gave my folder path, user profile path, and the folder name path as well. Or any you can give any number of parameters here. I can put one more thing here. So it's up to us. So now we are not using any slashes. Click on OK. Now let us run. Now it is referring. Now the slash is automatically added, which means like the path dot combine is a method which will help us to build our folder paths or combine folder path. So now we got the download folder. Is everyone clear about this environment variables and path dot combine?
So path basically through get environment folder activity, basically we are trying to achieve that generalization, right? Specifically, what we are trying to achieve through the get environment folder, we are generalizing the code, or we are basically generalizing that
Yes,
particular
yes.
path as well.
Here my user profile will be wherever the machine is running, right? Based on that machine username, it will take, and it is
Hmm.
independent of my machine.
Okay,
In case if I give this user path, right, to admin, then it will work only in case the username is admin.
correct.
Now it will work for any machine and any user.
Hmm.
Okay. Sure. So now I want to get all the files from this particular folder. For each, so to get the files from this particular folder, downloads, directory dot, we'll get all this, like create directory if you want to create a directory. So that we'll see, like it's a different methods and all. And so here we want to get the files, right? So let us hit get. Downloads folder. So we will get all the files, whatever we have here in the files, right? Let us go with the log message. Let us run this. See, here if you see, right, each and every file I got, like with some extensions, right? I have all the files with the extensions. I got each and every file with the extensions, but I have the folders also. Yeah. And we didn't got these folders. To get the folders, instead of using get files, right, we'll use get directories. Now we will get only the directory names. Like whatever the folders we have inside of this folder, we'll get those names. Class notes, L1, package, runtimes. Okay. And now whatever outside I have, right, I'm getting only those files. whatever inside of this, we are not getting it, right? And let me do one thing. Get files. Okay. Let me run file. So here what I have, how many do I have? Like I have 74 informative messages, which means like we can ignore first one and the last one, which means like we got 72 file names. Now, what we will do is we will just change it. We can say search options dot all directories. Search option dot all directories. I'll tell you like why I kept this asterisk dot asterisk. Now I got 845, which means like I got all the files from each and every subfolder. If you have subfolder inside a subfolder, so we can get all the files from the subfolders also. And what we are saying is like to search in all the directories, irrespective, only this directory, we are asking you to search for all the directories. And this is what type of file format you want to get. So I just gave the star asterisk because it's a wild character which will accept any. And let us suppose if I change this to PDF, click on save. Here we have different extensions, right? Now let us run. I got only PDF. See, I didn't got anything else. I got only PDF files. Next, let us suppose I want to take the files only with the name which consists of UiPath, irrespective of the extension. What I can do is in PDF, right? I'll put the asterisk again, asterisk UiPath. So I'm putting asterisk UiPath asterisk dot asterisk. You can save. Let us run. See, whatever the files I'm having the keyword of UiPath, I got only those files, which means like we can filter our required files either based on some keyword in the name or with the extension. Let us suppose I want to get only which is starting with UiPath. I'll remove this first asterisk. Click on save. Let us run this. I got all the files which is starting with UiPath. So we can filter in n number of ways with this particular operation. Okay. This is how we will get a specific file format or files with a specific keyword, and we can get from the subfolders or we can get only from the main folder. Okay. Let us come here. Where is that UiPath certificate and all? So academic alliance, PPTs. Let me come back. Somewhere UiPath Academic Alliance edition, right? Do we have that file here? See here. We have that file. Okay. See, I have multiple subfolders inside my downloads, and inside that I have this. So I want to get the particular folder name of that. Whatever I have this file, right? Academic Alliance PDF. I want to get the specific folder name of that. And here we don't have the, here also we have Academic Alliance, right? Let me go with Academic Alliance edition. So what I will do is, let us run this file. Here it is. And based on some keywords, I'm getting this file name, right? And I want the exact file name. So that's why I just filtered it for getting only one file. So let us get the file name. Path dot get file name. We can get the file name with, in case if you are going with file name, right? We'll get along with the extension. And if I select the file name without extension, I will not get the extension. Let us see the difference. File name without extension. So I filtered my files, and based on that, I want to get my file name. So here, UiPath Academic Alliance Edition installed. All the whole file name I got it. So we can use path.get file name or path.get file name without extension. Let us write one more log message here. Get extension. Run this file. .pdf. So we can get the extension also separately instead of like going for the split op. Generally, how initially I used to do is I used to split based on the dot, and I used to get the last word whatever I have. But we have methods. So initially when I was started with UiPath, I was like very new to the programming. So I used to do all this circus, but later I got to know about that. Like we have a couple of methods for that. So now I want to get the folder path of it as well. I want to get the directory name. Get directory name. See, this is my folder. We have main folder path, and now we have this. Okay. So in this, these are the operations which we can perform on top of a file. And see, let me go here, move file. Let us go to in this way, system file. Directly they are giving rename. Even while moving also we can do that. Rename file, rename folder, move folder, file exists, folder exists, or path exists. So these are the different activities which we need to cover. See, this path exists is nothing but the combination of both file and folder exists. Either you give the folder path or either you give a file path. This will work in the path exists. See, all these three will return you the boolean. These three will return you the boolean, and these are like for renaming of your files and folders and moving of file and folder. Okay, you try these activities of your own on top of these things. Okay, and now They changed a lot. They gave some new activities. You can create the folder and you can create the file also. Let us go here. Delete file, delete folder. See, I don't think like it is required for you to cover each and every activity. Just try one or two activities. That will be good enough because these are very straightforward and easy activities. Move folder, not directly. For each file in your folder. Let us take in this way. I'm just putting it. We can directly check what include subfolders, skip, and all these things. And we can have the extension also. Whatever the extension we want to have, like in the similar way what we have given there, right? Dot PDF, created date, updated date. So the last updated date, newest first, which means you'll get the latest file. Okay. Let us do one thing. Let us take it from the download folder, irrespective of this. And I want to get the latest file which is got created with the PDF. I want to take the include the subfolders as well. And I want to skip in case if any of the file is not having the access. In case if we didn't check it, it will throw an error and I will go with created date newest file. Okay. And now what I will do is I'll just use a log message. I need to put this above. I'll use a log message. Current file. And I'll break from this. In case if I break from this loop, I'll get out of it. Run file. And what is the file name? Active Directory activities.pdf is the last created file under the PDFs. Let us see in the folder under the downloads. Refresh this. So the date modified we are getting like creation, right? So in case if I change it to the date modified, I should get this UiPath developer course curriculum. Let us do that. From the date newest first to date updated, last updated date newest first. Let us run this now. We got the UiPath developer course. Okay. So we've done this, right? We have done this. Which question is this? See, this is done, and this is we could able to achieve it in terms of programming, but in interview they will not accept. They'll say that I don't want to use this for each. What are the syntax you have? Let us try to write the syntax. Even I was like, but not sure about it. But let us try to do that. Directory dot get files. Downloads folder. And I want to go with dot PDF, and I want to include all the subfolders as well, such option dot all directories. And now I got all the files, right? It's a list of all the files. And I want to order this. Order by descending. I want to write a function. File path is my function. And we want to create a file information. File info of file path dot creation time, updation time, last updated, last modified date. Dot to list. We're converting into the list and we'll take the first. Let us run this file. So we got the same file. How we are going to get? You can Google this syntax. That is not a problem. But how we can explain in the interview? What we will say is that we will use the get directory files and we will order them in the descending by getting the file info with last modified or last created. Whatever the question they asked, right? The last modified or last created. So we'll get the information from the file info object or a file info method. So file info, like we can have like for all the files, right? Whatever we are getting, the file paths, we can convert them into the file info so that it will be converted to the file object. So it will be considered as a file object. It will not see whatever the file path we are seeing right now, right? It is kind of uh, a string. But when we use this file info for that particular file path, then that will be considered as a file object and we can do the performance operations and we can get more information about it as well. So let me do one thing. Let me just copy this. So this is how we can get the file information. And you try with these activities. Okay. And let me do one thing. So this file exists is there, right? So let us take a file path. This is my file path. Copy. Now I'm not using any other things. Okay. I'm just deleting all these variables also I don't need. I want to do some puff actions in case if this file is available. File exists. I can give the file path. And the output is file exists. This is my output variable. Okay. And I can use the if condition. If file exists, then I'll write a message box. Like what are the different operations in case if you want to perform different operations, we can put that file found. If not, file not found. Okay. So let us run this file. See, I'm using this file exists. This is applicable to the folder exists also. Okay. Path exists and folder exists also. I'm checking the file exists activity and I'm storing the result into a variable and I'm using that result in the if condition. How is there a possibility I can reduce it? Path.exists, sorry, file.exists. I can directly write my Sorry. This path. Because this method directly file.exist method directly will give me whether the file exists or not. So I can reduce one activity and one variable file form. And in case if it is a folder, directory dot exists. Oops. Exists. I can give the folder path. Got it. So like we can avoid some uh, variables or some activities, and we can reduce the amount of code we are writing so that it will be bit more optimized. Joining the files path.combine we covered. Get the file name with and without extension. See, for all this, right, whenever you're doing operations on top of a file path or a folder path, right, first directly write path dot and then hit a dot. It will give you the suggestions. Get file folder path. So we got all the methods for this. See, these are the maximum methods we generally use in our almost all the projects. And for these, we have the activities. And for this, we have the syntax. And also we have an activity also for each for file in the folder. We can use that as well. Get all the files from folders and subfolders done. And for this also, we have done. We can just reuse this for this. Instead of PDF, we will just put asterisk because it will return all of the folders. So guys, any questions? Hello? Filter files in the folder. Yeah. Any questions?
No path here. Good. All good.
So guys, it's a humble request, right? Like, see, without you guys practice, it will be hard. Like it is not easy to remember the things. Once we start doing the practice, then that will help. So I know like few of you are already working in some different domains and you know all these things, but in a generalized way, I'm telling. Let me just copy this and let me write it in a Word document. Downloads. Yeah, from tomorrow we'll start with regular expression patterns and then we'll go to the OCR and then to the PDF. Okay.
Path, you remember I asked one question to you, right?